ready for your headliner tonight. You came here to see him. Put your hands together for Zoltan Kaszas.
What's up, everyone? Yeah? All right. Thank you. One more time for Ray. Make him feel welcome. There he is. How's it going, Peter? Good to see you. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We sold out the Shank. All right. Thank you. I hope everyone has a seat. If you don't, I'm sorry. But there's a bunch of people there. Wow, this isn't... I remember the first time we came, and there was a lot of seats available. And so it's nice. We sold out tomorrow, too. That's so good. I'm still surprised when people show up. You know, like, do you ever think life is just a big prank on you? And you're like, oh no, like a birthday party, everyone's RSVP'd, and then you just have that bad dream. You're like, what if no one shows? And it's just me in the backyard with my own cake. I have that thought about this, about showing up and then no one's here. It's just me and a bartender going, what do we do? And I'm like, start drinking, apparently, because this is sad. But thank you guys so much for coming. This is my first show of the new year, and I already, ready to shake off some holiday rust. I flew in today, and I got a migraine immediately. I haven't had a migraine in so long, and don't worry, I've taken 3 Advil. I've been drinking nothing but water, and before I came up here, I'm like, I might faint. And so if that does happen, it's not a bit, all right? Send help, okay? I don't want some moment where like, oh, he's getting real experimental. He's trying out some physical comedy. Usually he just stands in place, but he's getting a little more, No. EMTs immediately. And I did get health insurance this year, but it doesn't kick in until February, so like, the cheaper hospital, please, all right? But I like it. I like coming out here because it's California on fire, and you guys the opposite. Isn't that nice? Isn't that so cool? You're like, oh, we could use some of this out there. A little dusting of I feel like snow would put out fire, right? A little bit. That would put out some fire. Isn't that weird? That's how the world works. Like, most of the country's just frozen. California's on fire. And it's like, man, if we could have a little of that here and a little of this heat over there, we could have a nice winter right there. It's kind of like when you're in public and you see, like, a guy with, like, no chin and then, like, another guy with, like, too much chin. And then you're like, man, if we could take some of that guy's chin and give it to that guy, we could have 2 normal-looking fellas here. But instead, we have a cartoon in front of us, you know? So yeah, it's I'm glad to be out of there. I'm glad that we're here for the weekend. San Diego's fine, but I've been watching the LA fires, and it's crazy. A lot of celebrities lost their homes, which I'm not a fan of anyone losing their homes. Like, I read the list of the celebrities that have lost their homes, and like a lot, I feel bad for all of them, but there are some that I feel less bad for. I feel guilty even saying that out loud, but I was reading the list, and I felt bad for all of them, but there was varying degrees of the amount. Like, I was reading the list, and like Mandy Moore lost her house. I'm like, I like Mandy Moore. She never did nothing to nobody. She's just a sweet girl. She wants to sing her pop songs, do a little acting. Let her do some acting. And she lost her house. I'm like, I feel bad for Mandy Moore. And then I read Paris Hilton. I'm like, all right, like, I still felt bad, but I'm like, oh, that's bad, you know? She has a lot of places she can stay, yeah? Her last name's Hilton. I don't know if you know why she has that last name. There's a lot of places to go. I would feel worse if her last name was La Quinta Inn and Suites. Like, I'd be like, oh no, she's gonna stay at a La Quinta. But those are nice hotels that she has to go to. And then I read Billy Crystal lost his house. I'm like, I like Billy Crystal. I watched all of City Slickers, watched both of them. He hosted the Oscars all those years. Incredibly talented, sing, dance. He's funny. I love Billy Crystal. I'm like, I don't want him to lose his house. And then I read Ben Affleck lost it, and I was like, you know, like, I don't know what it is about Ben Affleck, but when he's sad, I'm happy. I don't know what Ben Affleck did to anybody, but just when he's miserable, I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, every time he like slammed the door on J-Lo and was like, ugh, I'm like, nice. That's why. I don't know what that man did, but when he's happy, I'm not. And when he's bummed out, I'm like, good. But yeah, I was watching all the fires. They kept doing press conferences. That's my favorite part of a natural disaster. They just keep doing press conferences. They feel like, oh, the people need the information. But there's no information. Just the mayor comes out in his work jacket. That's all that. That's my favorite part of natural disasters is politicians have to put on their work clothes to talk to the public. Like they're out there doing the stuff, you know? Like the mayor of Pasadena put on this like tactical fire jacket. It said mayor on it. It was like he just got down hosing something off. Like, I gotta get back out there, but I just wanted to give you some information. That's my favorite. Like remember, I forget, it was probably like a hurricane or something in Florida, but DeSantis put on his big white boots. Do you remember that? But he was like, is this what working people wear? Yeah. He should fire his whole staff, because his whole staff is like, yeah, that's what working people wear, man. Just white boots, knee-high. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to want to tuck your jeans into those. That's what you should do. And then they come out. I'm one of the people. And they're like, dude, you're not doing nothing, all right? You cut the budget. That's why we're in this mess. So I love watching the press conferences. I love the interpreters. They always have a sign language interpreter next to the press conference. And I don't know, like I've watched so many of them, and they're all different interpreters, and they're all crazy with, like, they're so into it. And it's weird because I've seen people talk in sign language in real life, and it's not like that. I don't know if you've ever been out in public and watched two people communicate with sign, but it's just discreet. It's just, you know, and I'm like, oh, they're speaking in sign language. That's kind of neat. You don't see that every day. But in the press conference, it's just blah, 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 blah. It's almost like condescending. I think like it feels like they're mocking the person talking. Like the mayor's like, we have help coming. Oh, they have help coming. Like it's like their version of an eye roll, you know? Like there's nothing we could have done to prevent it. She says there's nothing they could have done to prevent any of it. Yeah. I'm glad you guys laughed at these. Might be easier because it's snowing outside. I don't know. I thought of these on the plane right out here. Man, it's been a wild year. And we just got started. We're like 11 days in. 11 days in, and it's already fires and drones and terrorists. I didn't know they had New Year's resolutions. Did you? We're like, well, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. Like, I gotta do something horrible tomorrow. And you're like, you're not supposed to have New Year's resolutions. That's for us. There's terrorists out there. I didn't know the guy that blew up the Cybertruck in front of the Trump thing. Remember that? I forgot that there can just be bad terrorists. Like, you can be bad at terrorism. Like, he tried to hurt lots of people. He killed nobody but himself. He barely hurt the truck. I think the truck's gonna be okay. I think they're like, yeah, we'll put a new tailgate on it. That'll be all right. Like, that's so embarrassing. I wonder if he's embarrassed, like, in the afterlife. Like, he's like, I wonder if the other terrorists give him a hard time. Like, you didn't even kill anybody. And he's like, I tried. Like, can you imagine that? Like, you give up your life. You're like, oh, I'm going to kill everybody. Then, boom. And then all that happens is, like, an insurance adjuster comes out. Everyone's fine. There's just a State Farm car parked. Taking photos. Writing in his clipboard. Yep, here's your check. You can fix your awning. You'll be all right. It'd be so embarrassing, man. Oh, yeah. So that's been the year. That's so far. We're 10 days in, and I hope it gets boring quick. I hope every day from here until the arrest just be boring. I'm ready for a good boring year of like, what happened? Nothing. Just weather, and then it was fine. I don't know. We're just going to keep giggling until it comes here. I'm glad we don't own. That's what I was glad. We rent a place, and I'm like, and the people say, don't rent, because it's bad. You're throwing your money away, which is true. But if the house catches on fire, I'll be like, well, I'll get out of there. And then once we leave, we're like, I guess we're done there. And and mosey on. Good luck with that, Judith. It's my landlord's name, Judith. She's a nice lady. I don't want her to be stuck with the bill, but also, you know, 'tis the risk of homeownership. But yeah, I've had a great time here. I came in yesterday, and I like it. It feels warm. You guys feel like a flannel shirt. That's what Milwaukee feels like. I've been here like 4 times, and I just feel comfortable. I just want to put on a flannel shirt and get a beer. I want to watch a game. I wish I'm enjoying doing the show, but also if we didn't have a show right now, I'd love to be at a bar looking at a giant TV and just eating cheese curds and having Miller High Lifes. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, you guys, Wisconsin is the most alcohol consumption, I believe, in the universe. I think that was an article that came out in the news. They're like, no, we went to other planets, and they're not even close. But here's the thing, though. You guys keep it chill. Like, it's not a wild city. You guys are hammered, but everyone's just, hi. You guys drink like you keep it together, like, because if you don't, someone's going to make you stop or something, you know? That's how you guys drink. Like, I got a buddy back home. He drinks a ton. My buddy Dane, he drinks a lot, but he's never a problem. And I'm like, how are you never a problem? And he's like, I just don't want my wife to make me quit. So I always keep it together. And I'm like, you know, that's what they're doing in Wisconsin. That's an entire state of people keeping it together. And I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you for doing that. But yeah, had a good day. Went to, I'm not staying at this hotel, but I had breakfast there. I keep getting the name wrong. The Pfister. Yeah, we went over there. I'm not staying at that fancy hotel, but I'm down the street, and I was looking up a breakfast place, and I'm like, I'll go to another hotel to have breakfast. I have no shame in leaving my hotel. And they're like, would you like the free continental? I'm like, no, I'm going to a better one right over there. So I went over there, beautiful hotel. They got the painting on the thing. The restaurant was wonderful. Like, it was very slow service. I think they only had one server, and this poor lady had to work with everybody. And then I looked, and it was like the most elderly restaurant I've ever seen. Everyone was like in their 80s and 90s, and they all knew the server. They're like, oh, yeah, this is my son, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did I accidentally walk into like a retirement home lunch? Like, what? That's what it felt like. Like, I accidentally, and I'm like, I'm not sure that I'm not. I'm sure they just sat me. They're like, oh, he must be waiting for his Nana to come down from upstairs. I'm like, did I walk into the wrong place? Oh, man. But yeah, had a good day. Did a lot of nothing. That's what I did. I thought about going to the gym, and then I didn't. But that counts, right? If you think about it, I packed 2 days worth of workout clothes. Like, I was going to work out yesterday and today. None of that happened. I'm going to be bringing back 2 very clean pairs of workout shirts, and my wife's going to be like, wait, you didn't work out? No, we had a FaceTime call at noon, and that blew my day. I was thinking about going to the gym, and then she called me, and we FaceTimed for 30 minutes. I'm like, well, that's the gym right there. I was going to walk on the elliptical for a minute, you know? That was a big yawn you just let out. Good Lord, did you just get out of work, buddy? I thought you were laughing at me saying, what's that?
I work third shift. I woke up a couple hours.
Oh, dear God, you're a real, I'm guessing this was your idea to come here. Give that man a round of applause. He's working graveyard shift.
You work third shift too.
Third shift too.
Why are you doing okay? Oh, you're just genuinely excited to see me, and he works third shift, but it was her idea.
Flipped over.
You just what?
I just flipped over a month ago.
What'd you do?
I flipped over the third a month ago.
You flipped over you're using insider terms with me, buddy. You're over here using terms that they use at the mill, and I don't know. You're like, I just flipped into third shift a month ago, and I'm like, are we talking about motorcycles? What are we talking about? Where do you work?
The asphalt.
Asphalt company. You're making asphalt?
No, I'm a diesel mechanic.
You're a diesel mechanic at an asphalt company. Every sentence out of you is more manlier than the last. That is amazing. I thought making asphalt was already manly, and he's like, I'm about to add diesel to it, all right? That is awesome. Yeah, yawn away, buddy. You're doing real work. I'm over here like, I had a headache earlier. If I go down, it's not part of the act. And you're like, I haven't slept since Tuesday, all right? Oh, man. It is the easiest job. I don't know why I complain about travel, because it is just a lot of sitting. If you think about it, like my life, there's not that much. Like I was in bed. I woke up at 4 a.m. I was laying down, and then my alarm went off, and I had to sit up, and then I had to get up, and I had to walk over to an Uber and sit down. And then I got to the airport, had to get up, get onto the plane, then I had to sit down. Then I landed here. I got up, got in another Uber, sat down. Then I got to the hotel. I'm like, man, I got to take a nap, dude. Listen, I don't know what's going on at the asphalt plant, but that was a lot of sit and stand and sit and stand. Make up your mind, you know? But yeah, it was a good holiday. I very much enjoyed it. Saw my family, hung out with my mom. It was smooth. Christmas was smooth. No political arguments. We did get into a giant fight because I almost paid $3.99 to rent a movie on Amazon Prime. Is that anyone else's family, or is that just my mom? What was that? You would have thought I brought up the election. I was like, let's watch Dumb and Dumber. And she's like, you're not going to pay $3.99? And I was like, why wouldn't I? And she started yelling, just yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm going to pay this $3.99. And then she's like, just buy it then. I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. She goes, $12.99? You're not buying that? I love my mom, but she's, she's old school. She's like, we don't pay for anything. I'm like, you used to take me to Blockbuster. How much was that? She goes, I don't remember. I was like, I think it was probably $3.99. I don't know. And then they charge you more because you didn't rewind. Became a whole situation. Anyway, last thing I want to say is I want to thank you guys for helping me sell out tonight and last night. That meant a lot to me. It's the most amount of tickets we've sold here in Milwaukee. There is someone that's not here with us this time around. One of my biggest fans lived out here, Darlene. What is it? My cat, Happy Endings Cat Rescue. Darlene ran that. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, and Darlene was the president. Yeah, she was the president. And every time I would come to Milwaukee, she was the only fan that would email me every couple weeks and ask me how the tickets were selling. And she'd be like, how are the tickets selling for Milwaukee? And I'd give her an update. She goes, I'll tell more people. Just the absolute sweetest person, and she would come to both shows, and she would send shots up, and just the biggest fan, such a supporter, such a sweet lady, and unfortunately she passed away last year, and so she's not here with us, but she would be so pumped to know that we sold out 2 shows. So cheers to Darlene, and... It's so nice to be here. This is my first time in Toronto. Yeah. It's a beautiful city. I've never been here. It might be the most diverse city I've ever visited. It is. It's like this whole city was cast by Netflix or something. They're like a little bit of everybody. And I love it. I never realized how important diversity was until I rewatched Home Alone. You ever rewatch Home Alone with 2022 eyes? And then you're like, oh, I see why we have diversity now. I watched Home Alone recently. I'm like, oh, there's no black people in Home Alone. Did you know that? There's no black people in Home Alone. Not one. It's a movie set in Chicago. With I don't know if you've ever visited, well represented in Chicago. The closest they have to a black person in Home Alone is a cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan. And Kevin tapes him to a toy train and uses him to scare off white burglars. And I'm like, I see why we have diversity now. But now I'm used to seeing diversity. So now while I'm watching Netflix, I count races in every scene to make sure everyone's represented. And I was watching something new on Netflix, and there's a straight white guy on the screen for too long. And I'm like, hey, wait a second, that's not okay. And then I pulled the laptop closer, and I realized it was just my reflection on the screen. And I was like, I'll allow it. I was about to write a heavily worded tweet, but here we are. Yeah, I love Toronto. It's so diverse. This must be such a hard city for racists. It must be, because you can't focus on one. There's always more around. You can't just be like, ah, because then you're like, ah. Just reminds me of like anytime you see like a bear trying to get salmon spawning upstream, but there's too many, and he doesn't know. I like it. I like the diversity. I'm a big fan of it. This city is just like a bunch of different cultures trying each other's food. And I think it's beautiful. It's the best part of diversity is trying each other's, what do you got? That tastes good, and I like it. I can tell it's a lot of people's first time. You know, I live in San Diego. We walked by a Mexican restaurant, and I saw a little white kid just licking a burrito. Like it was a popsicle. And the server couldn't help because she was white too. She's like, yeah, that's probably how it's done. And I was like, everyone's learning. So much. I love this city. Everyone's kind. So kind. I'm not used to it. People are nice in traffic here. They let you merge. They're like, come on in. Every once in a while they don't, but you know, that's a BMW. That's how that goes. That's what BMWs do. They don't let people merge. But everyone else, come on in. There's plenty of room. We'll wait together. It's nice. I knew it was nice. The second day we were here, my fiance and I, Emma, we went to the park, and an old man fell at the park. And before he even fully hit the ground, 3 young people ran to his aid. They sat him up. They called 911 and then waited for the ambulance to show up. And I'm just sitting there watching this with my American eyes, and I'm like, they forgot to steal his shoes. Old people don't fall in America. You get shoved. That's how it works. Or you're on a bike. It's been a weird week in the States. I don't know if you've kept up. I've been busy vacationing. I've been here for the last 2 weeks. I've been half watching the news. I don't know what happened. You ever do that where you half watch the news and you're trying to piece it together? Like Biden fell off a bike and somehow that made abortion illegal. That was a hell of a fall. How hard did he fall? Who let that old man on a bike? That guy has a whole security team. The Secret Service, can you imagine how nervous they were? We're going to go on a bike ride today. And they're like, great, that's wonderful. Just have to stand waiting. But I like it. I like Toronto. Very clean city. People are friendly. You guys name things for what they are. You know, I performed at a small comedy club called Nothing Fancy, and I showed up, and guess what? It was nothing fancy. It was just a bar in a room with 20 seats, and I'm like, this is beautiful, right on the nose. I like that. You guys have a children's hospital? You don't call it a children's hospital. It's called Sick Kids. That's what it's called. Don't want to leave any mystery out there. What's going on in that building? Sick kids! Who named that? One of the children? Is that what happened? Jimmy, what should we call this building? Sick kids. A little on the nose, but I like it. Like where your head's at, Jimmy? Appreciate it. A lot of natural beauty in this area. We went to Niagara, got to go see the falls there, which is gorgeous. It's like if the Grand Canyon sprung a leak or something. So fun. It's like if there was a leak, the flood at the Grand Canyon. You're like, yeah. It was wonderful. I went with my fiance's family, and they've been there a bunch of times, so they weren't as impressed as me. I've never seen it before, so I was just sitting there going, what? You know? And then after that, we went down the street where it just turns into a tourist trap. It's the weirdest thing. It's like one of the natural beauties of the entire planet, and then someone's like, you want to go to Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville?
Shouldn't that be further away? It shouldn't be that close. It just let me know that, like, the human attention span is only so long. Like, it can be the most beautiful thing on the planet. People are like, all right, well, now what? That means if we're ever going to have, like, commercial flights to the moon, they're going to have to put a rainforest cafe up there. Because after 5 minutes, people are going to go, well, I could use some appetizers. I don't know. How much moonwalking are we going to do? Gotta live our lives. It's been so nice. We came up here, not just for this show, but I got engaged, so we came up here. Thank you. Yeah. I got engaged, and my fiance's from up here, so we came up to, like, meet her family. I got to meet everybody, and she comes from a big Persian family, so I was, like, getting introduced to the hospitality of a big Persian family, which I'm not used to, because I come from a white family. I come from a hi, how do you do, white family. And we have engagement parties, but they go, hey, congratulations, all right, see you at Christmas. And then we had an engagement party. It lasted 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, so you need more rice. There you go. You are never not hungry. In a Persian's household, they're like, you look hungry. I'm like, I just woke up. You're eating, eat it. So much hospitality. Her parents are so nice, they just come out of the wall. Like, I don't know, they just show up. You need the Wi-Fi password? What's going on? And I'm like, yeah, actually, that was so kind. She packed so many snacks. We did that 2-hour drive to Niagara. And halfway into the drive, she just pulled out hot tea. I'm like, where did you warm this? I didn't even know. How did you prepare hot tea in a RAV4? She pulled out a thing of hot tea just in a nice glass. Just poured it in a nice glass as we're doing 70 on the interstate. Here you go. Thank you. Oh wow, piping. All right. It's wonderful. So much hospitality with a little bit of the nabat in there. I don't know if you guys know what nabat is. Yeah, but it's homemade. Yeah, the family in the back knows. That's them. They know. For the rest of you that don't know what nabat is homemade sugar. It's sugar you make at home, you put it in the oven, you smash it up, and then it looks like crystal meth. And then you put it in your tea, and then it makes you feel like you're on crystal meth. Like, it jacks you up. You feel like you're ready to take over the world. It's just absolutely wonderful. But yeah, had a wonderful time out here. I love all the different languages, definitely a lot of French out here. Which I'm not used to. Southern California, I'm used to a lot of Spanish, and I've kind of noticed the difference between the two languages. You know, Spanish is a very welcoming language. It just seems like everyone's welcome when you hear Spanish. That's how I feel when I hear Spanish. Come on in. There's a little Spanish. And French just feels like a gated community, doesn't it? It just feels like a roundabout, get out of here, how did you get in? You don't have the code. There's something about the language. On the flight out here, we had a French flight attendant, and you can't have a French accent in a hospitality job. It doesn't come off genuine, you know? Like, she was super nice. She dropped off sandwiches and drinks, but just with the accent, I'm like, you don't mean it? I don't think you mean it. It's so good. Someone said, we don't. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it.